Hey everyone, I'm Theresa Kulikowski, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this practice that I learned from Rick Hanson, and it's called H.E.A.L. So there are 4 steps to this practice, H-E-A-L, thus the acronym H.E.A.L. And the purpose of this practice is to take in the good. So the way that Rick Hanson describes this is that our brains evolutionarily have been programmed to really cling to negative experiences and push away positive ones. So he says our brains are like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive. So if you think about that, Velcro, things just kind of cling to it. Teflon, things bounce off. He explains it like this. Thousands of years ago, if we mistook a tiger lurking in the bush for maybe just something benign, we would have died. We would have been attacked by that tiger. So any kind of negative experience we are very in tune to, and any kind of negative thing that happens, we are very likely to cling to it so that it doesn't happen in the future. Our brains are primed for this because it allowed us to survive. It allowed us to evolve into who we are today. Fortunately, we don't live like that anymore. So we don't have that tiger lurking in the bush that might attack us as we're out hunting for food. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't things in our world that are dangerous. It just means that for most of us, and I'm saying, most of us, this isn't everybody in the world, unfortunately, but for most of us in our day-to-day lives, we are pretty safe in most moments. And even if not every moment of our day is safe, we have those moments of peace and calm where our life is not in danger. Our brains, however, can still be like they were thousands of years ago, where we are programmed to look for whatever is going to harm us. And so this practice here is all about retraining our brain. It's kind of going against our evolution, but that's okay, because what's beautiful about our brain is that we can retrain it. Our brains have this capacity called neuroplasticity, meaning the nervous system can change and adapt based on where we place our attention, based on what inputs we're giving it. So the practice of H.E.A.L is about changing our brain from being very much like Velcro for negative to being more Velcro for the positive, and less of the Teflon for the positive. This is all about taking in the good. So the steps of the H.E.A.L process, and the reason I have a picture of my dog Ollie is because you look at him and he is peaceful and he is calm, he's happy, and all these pleasant experiences that so many of us are going for. So if it's helpful, then you can look at this picture of Ollie, and he can help you in having a positive experience, which is the H of H.E.A.L, have a positive experience. All this requires is that we're mindful of it. Can we be aware of, in any moment of our day, is there some level of pleasantness in our experience? Even if it's just, in this moment we tune in and I feel like my feet are pretty comfortable right now. They're warm, they're grounded, there's no pain. So I'm having a positive experience, which is the H. The E of H.E.A.L is then to enrich it and expand it. And this just takes a few seconds, but it's this few seconds that puts in new memories into our brain. So we're training a little structure in our brain called the amygdala to pay attention to something pleasant. And then from there, that's feeding into the hippocampus a new memory of pleasantness. So by enriching it and expanding it, we give it more attention, and therefore we encode different things into our brain. So what do I mean by enrich or expand? Let's just try this. So going back to my feet on the ground, I'm going to imagine that this pleasantness in my feet can be as big as it can be. Noticing that warmth can be really big in my experience. It can fully be felt, this warmth, this pleasantness. And you can experiment with it in your own experience, whether it's looking at this picture of Ollie. Really notice what it feels like to have a pleasant experience in the body, even if it's just one small part of the body. And then the A of heal is absorbing it. So after we give it a few seconds to let this experience get big and full and rich, then we imagine that it's being absorbed into every single cell of our bodies. I like to imagine this warmth, this comfort coming into the DNA, deep into the DNA of my cells. So in my experience with my feet feeling warm, I just imagine that warmth and that ease is soaking into every cell of my body, even beyond my feet. Imagining that my body is like a sponge and it can absorb this calm, this warmth, this ease. So we just give it a few seconds, that's all it takes. And then the L of heal is an optional step. So H.E.A. doesn't make as cool of an acronym, but you can just do the H.E.A. for a while, where you have the experience, you enrich it and expand it, and then you absorb it. And then when you feel comfortable, you can play around with the last step, which is L, and linking it. So what do we mean by linking it? Linking it to a past experience that wasn't pleasant. And so we have to be kind of careful with this process. So when we think about a past experience that wasn't as pleasant, we don't want to bring up trauma. We don't want to bring up something that's really triggering. Maybe in my instance with the calm and warm feet, I'm going to imagine a time that maybe my feet felt really cold and my feet, maybe I had pain. And so I'm going to imagine that kind of off into the background of my mind and just remembering it just very briefly while I stay connected to the warmth, the comfort that I'm feeling in my feet in this moment. And even imagining that as this warmth and this calm expands beyond my feet and into my body, that it might even permeate into those past experiences where my feet didn't feel quite as comfortable. So this is a simple example, and you can use it like this, in terms of one small experience in the body, or you can use it with bigger things as you feel more comfortable. But just notice that this practice maybe takes 30 seconds or a minute when you're doing it informally like this. And that in any moment of your day, you can walk through the steps and say, I'm actually noticing that in this moment I feel calm. H, I'm having a calm experience. E, can I let it just get a little bigger? What is meaningful about this calmness? What really feels nice about it? Ease in the body. My shoulders are down and relaxed. My jaw isn't clenched. And then A, can I absorb it? Can I take it into every cell? This calm. Can I really feel calm? And then if I feel comfortable, I might link it and remember a time of my life where I felt really anxious. And I just think about that very briefly, and then I come back to calm in this moment. And in this way, we really rewire our nervous systems and we encode pleasantness, and we train our brain to really notice and take in the good in our lives. So experiment with it, play around with it, and let me know how it goes for you.